demonstrator in Summerfield, Florida, and welcome to my weekly YouTube Live. If you're new here, I go live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'd love for you to join us. Invite your friends to join us as well. We always have a fun project and it's just a great time. So I hope everybody has had a good, it's been about 2 weeks now since I've been live. We were bracing ourselves for Hurricane Milton last week, and luckily we made it through. No big issues, which thank goodness. I know that wasn't the case for everyone, but we were okay here, so that was good. We didn't even lose power, which was really nice. We had a couple instances where like the Wi-Fi or the power would kind of like have a little flicker for like a second, and then it was no big deal. So luckily we were good. Let me make sure I have everything up on my computer so I can see. As you guys join, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Hi, Janice. Thanks so much for joining. Yes, we are all okay, thankfully. There was one time where we have a big wooded lot on the side of our house. So I'm always nervous about trees falling down or anything. And my son's bedroom is on that side. So I had him sleep in the living room on the couch just to be safe. But a couple little branches fell from some of those trees. And my husband and my son were both on that side of the house where the branches fell. So to them, it sounded really loud. And I heard something, but I was like, what? That's no big deal. And then the next morning, we just saw the little branches on the top of the roof and lots of leaves everywhere because it blew there's so much wind, it blew all the leaves all over the place. And then I guess our fence got a little messed up. The wind kind of pulled some of the posts, so my husband's working on that. Funny story, I let Oscar outside and forgot my husband said the fence was kind of messed up, and Oscar, my dog, my Australian Shepherd, he went running, and he's pretty good though. He doesn't really leave and go too far. So I called him and I was like, why is it taking him so long to come in the house? And then I looked out the side and saw that he could easily get through the fence. But he came running back. It was no problem. So I texted my husband. I said, the dog got out. He's like, I told you that might happen. I said, I know, but I figured I'd tell you anyway. You know, that's my lot in life, is to let him know all my grievances. But I was just joking with him. So again, thanks so much for joining. And I hope if you know of anybody that was in the path of the storm, that they made it through okay. And hopefully no damage to life or limbs or property. Hopefully it was just maybe some power outages or something like that. I know lots of people around here had power outages for a few days, so not so great. But we were all prepared. I had all kinds of water bottles in the freezer and everything like ready to go, but I didn't need it. So now we're just thawing out everything. Yes, Janice, I am further inland. I'm like right in the middle in Central Florida. So if you look at Orlando on a map, I'm about an hour north of Orlando. And when I was looking, there was a radar tracker for the storm. So I kept checking it. And initially, like a couple of days before, you could see the little dot where we were, and then like the cone of where the storm was expected. And we were like where the cone was, we were like right here. And then as it kept shifting below and going south, luckily for us. So we really just got a lot of wind. Not too many issues. So it was really good. Let's see what else is going on. My son, I think I told a lot of you guys, he's in bowling. So he had his last game tonight, and then they do a district competition next week, and then we will see if they make it to state. So wish him luck. He's doing really well. He bowled quite a bit today. My husband kept sending me text messages while I was getting ready, and he's been doing really good. So we're really proud of him. Yes, the wind it can be very scary. Honestly, I felt like, at least for us, Helene had more wind than Milton did. It felt like the wind was stronger and we heard it a lot more for us. Maybe because it went more in a northward path, and so we were more in its path for Helene. And then since Milton shifted south, I think that's why. I mean, we did get a lot of wind, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't nearly as much as Helene. We actually had like branches in the street and stuff that we had to move for Helene. So, all right, so enough of that. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Definitely let me know in the chat what you were up to. Did you do anything fun? It's finally cooling down here. It was in the 60s today, which for Florida is crazy. It got into the 70s, I think the low 70s in the afternoon, but it has felt amazing today. I just love it. I walked out in my shorts and I was like, maybe I should put pants on, but I didn't. I still live in my shorts and my flip-flops, but I definitely thought about it for sure. And that's probably the first time this season that I've thought about putting pants on. So, all right, let me go ahead and switch the camera around. Oh, it's freezing in Maryland, Case, my sister. I am sure it is. It's always cold this time of year. All right, so just a couple of quick updates before we get into today's project. You guys are really gonna enjoy this one. I've got some cool techniques to share with you today. All right, so starting today, this sale just started. All of the Close to My Heart branded products that Stampin' Up acquired are 30% off now while supplies last. So that's like your two-tone cardstock, your picture with a flat protectors, the memory albums, things like that. I put a link on my Facebook page, and I think I have an email going out. It might have gone out already with a link as well. So if you're interested in any of those, like memory keeping, scrapbooking type items, they are 30% off while supplies last. If you do shop with me, please use my October host code if your order is under $150. If it's over $150, don't worry about the host code. You'll get Stampin' Rewards, which is like coupons towards free stuff, which is really nice. So, all right, and then Stamp Camp to go. I have every month I come up with a new card kit class basically to go in the mail. You get 4 different card designs and 2 of each card, so a total of 8 cards. And it's usually themed around a specific bundle from one of the catalogs or the online exclusives. You usually get some products with it, like paper, embellishments, ribbon, things like that. I am working on the one for November. I'm really behind right now with, I have Stamp Camp this week, my in-person card classes, and I'm working on finishing up my reindeer fun Christmas craft boxes. I'm trying to get those out in the mail by this weekend before my family comes to visit next week. It's a crazy time, but I will have the Stamp Camp to go for this month within the next couple days. My goal is to have it by early next week at the latest, by Monday at the latest. So stay tuned for that. But if you would like to subscribe and do the monthly subscription, you get a little bit of a discount, and after 6 months of being a subscriber, you get to choose a free stamp set of your choice as a thank you for subscribing. And that's at stampcampwithjen.com. You can see the little monthly subscription on the sidebar, or you can go to my, I think it's like where the tutorials are in the tutorial library. You'll see this as well, that you can sign up for it. All right, and then this month, the kits collection is up to 30% off. So if there's any kits you've been thinking about getting, these are fantastic for beginner stampers, or if you need something quick on the go. I know they make great Christmas presents as well. With Christmas right around the corner, this would be a great item to get a couple of them while they're on sale for Christmas gifts. I know my granddaughter, who's about 8, she loves these. And then my nephew, my mom was just up visiting them, and she had an old paper pumpkin kit that she did. It was a Halloween themed one, and he loved it. And I think, was he 9, Case? 10? 9, 10. No, he's 9. I always have to do the math and subtract from the age difference between him and my son. But he's 9. So, I mean, that's a really good age range. They really love these kits as well. So if you want to check those out, that's through the end of the month. So through October 31st, you can enjoy that sale. Okay, and then a starter kit special. So if you've ever considered joining Stampin' Up as a demonstrator, You can join my team and get $155 worth of products for only $99. You'll get free shipping. You'll get a previous paper pumpkin kit included, as well as some business supplies. It's a really great deal. You don't have to run a business. You could just do it for the discount. Demonstrators get a 20 to 25% discount on all of their favorite Stampin' Up! Products. You get to see products before and purchase products before anybody else. And it's just a really great community to be a part of. If it's anything you ever considered, now is a really good time to kind of jump right in and try it out. And it's no obligation. So if you decide, no, this isn't really for me, you can always just quit and drop, and then you get to keep all of those products that you got at a discount. So if you're interested in this, please reach out to me. I would love to have you as a member on my team. We're always looking for new members, and you don't have to be local to me in Florida. I have people all over the country. I have people in California, Virginia, Alabama, all over the country. So if you'd like to join, please reach out to me, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have if you're kind of on the fence about it. All right. And then my last little announcement is I'm trying something out this month. We're going to do a virtual craft party for anybody that places at least a $50 order before shipping and tax. And it will be an exclusive virtual craft party. You'll get a YouTube link, and we'll make a special project. And I will even have a giveaway. So it pays to be there live, because you will need to be present to win the prize during the event. Okay. So once you place your qualifying order, you'll get an email from me that lets you know, yay, you're part of the craft party. And then as the event gets closer, you'll get the YouTube link that all you'll have to do is click on it and join the YouTube video. And I'll even send it the day of the event. I'll send a reminder as well with that link. So in case you lose it or forget where you put it, if you accidentally deleted it, it won't be a problem. So you'll get all those reminders. We'll make a special project. And then, like I said, I'll have a little giveaway during that as well. So something fun. I wanted to try and see if people are interested in it. So if you'd like to join us for the craft party, just place an order with me of at least $50 before the end of the month, and make sure the $50 is before shipping and taxes added. And then you can do it anytime during the month. As long as you get your order in by October 31st, then you'll be invited to the party. Okay. All right. So those are my announcements for today. Now let's get into the fun project. All right, so this is the project that we're making today. It is a Z-fold card, and when you open it up, you get to see that beautiful paper, and then we have a little note right there. Isn't that so cool? So I have to give credit to Rachel Tessman. I saw this project. She did this about a year ago on her blog, and I just thought that was so cool. I use this Splendid Autumn DSP, and I love this paper, but I don't know about you guys, but I always struggle with figuring out a way to use this paper to where you can see the whole beautiful page. So her project, you actually use this whole page. You trim a little bit off at the top, and then you'll actually get to see this whole scene. And you can do it with a bunch of different suites and papers. I have a couple other examples as well that I'll show after we get done with the project, okay? But this is really, really cool. Spoiler alert, if you are coming to Stamp Camp, we're making this card this week, so... This has been, a lot of people love this card. It's just really cool. It does look like a Bob Ross painting case. Happy little trees and a nice little sunset. Our grandfather was a huge Bob Ross fan. I remember going to his house and him watching like Bob Ross shows in the middle of the day. I always thought that was really funny. Okay, so this is the paper pack we're using here. This is the Splendid Autumn Designer Series paper. It has a lot of these beautiful scenes. Most of them are fall themed, like this one here with the trees and the little path. You've probably seen it. I know it was on back order for a while, but it is back in stock if that's something you've been waiting on. That would be a really pretty one too. So I'm not going to go through this whole pack, but I just want to show you some of the different designs and the papers. Look at how pretty those are. I just love them. I think it's so beautiful, but you don't always know what to do with it, right? So I thought this was a really good project to show off that pretty paper. All right, here. So all right, so this little piece here, I embossed already, so you don't have to watch me struggle rolling this thing through the embossing machine. But I used the exposed brick embossing folder. I thought that was really like a nice way to kind of accent that paper. If you don't know where to find the embossing folders in your annual catalog, you just go in the back here in your index and look up, where is it here? Embossing folders are on page 129, right here. And that's number 8 is that exposed brick embossing folder. That's the one we're using today, okay? So always use that index. It helps quite a bit. Okay, and then I have some of these papers cut, but I want to show you how to cut it so that you can see how we did that here. So I'm using, this is another sheet, the same pretty paper that we have here. So what we're gonna do is we actually want, so here are the measurements right here. So the paper, this black piece that we're using for the base here, this is a standard 5.5 by 8.5, but it's scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. Okay, so that's the base. And then for our designer series paper, I'm going to show you how to cut this real fast. It's really easy. So we want it to be 5 3/8 inches tall. So all we want to do is we want to take, we've got this beautiful scene. We're just going to take that excess amount that we want to cut off right off the top. That way we have that full scene still in the picture. So, whoops, I have a piece left from something else here. So we're going to cut, like I said, this top part here. So I'm going to put that towards the right side because that's the piece that I'm cutting off. And I'm going to line up the bottom at 5 3/8 and just trim that top piece off. We don't want that anymore. You could save it for a project. I'm just going to throw it away. It's really not big enough to worry about. And then all we're going to do is cut this into 2-inch sections here. So we're just going to go 2 inches and 2 inches. And that's it. That's all you need to do to cut your paper for your project. Try to keep it all in order. It's funny because I cut this paper for my kits for class, and then everybody has to try to figure out the little puzzle to see how they go back together, and I can't even figure them out half the time. I'm like, just go with what looks good to you guys. All right, so for this one, we're just gonna fold this in half. Oh, we're gonna fold it the other way here. And I'm gonna take my bone folder. We're gonna fold it in half. And then we're gonna, on this score line, we're just gonna fold this panel back on itself. So it makes that Z fold, just like that, okay? So just like that, and my corner's bent up a little bit, but that's all right. So we want it to be that Z fold like that, okay? So now we're gonna take, what I like to do to make sure that I have all of my pieces in place is I like to lay everything down before I glue it, just to make sure that I kind of have it exactly where I want it here and have all of the pieces lining up too. That's important. So it looks like they're pretty good here. And I'm probably going to use some liquid glue just so I have that extra couple seconds to wiggle it in place and make sure it's all lined up like it needs to be. So I'm going to use a light hand and try to put some liquid glue on here. Glue bottles are running out too. Oh, my husband and my son are home. I can hear my dog barking. All right, so we're gonna put this down. This is that embossed, exposed brick embossed piece here. I put that down, and I like to kind of rub my fingers along that paper and just kind of smooth out all the glue underneath. I'm gonna grab this one and Yeah, this is, I'm trying to get every little drop of glue I can out of here. It's really at the end of its life. I might have to ditch it. All right, that's it. Let's try another one. Oh, this feels a little fuller. There we go. So I'm gonna find that score line. Make sure it's right side up too. I have a tendency to put things down upside down. Right about there. Oops. There we go. That down. So what I want you guys to do, my northerners, when you guys start getting snow, let me know. I'm always curious because I know in Maryland, we never got snow until like January, maybe December. It very rarely snowed before Christmas time up there, which you would think, oh, it's gonna snow. Not really. Or maybe it would snow a little bit like in early December, but we never actually had snow on Christmas that I remember because my husband always said, I want a white Christmas. Even though when we were stationed in South Korea, it snowed the morning of Christmas, but he said it didn't count because he wasn't awake yet. So he claims he's never had a white Christmas, but that's baloney. Silly man. All right, so we've got all of our panels down and they complete the scene. We got the puzzle pieces in the right order. All right, so this cool trick I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna show you how to make these leaves. You kind of notice I have some little spots here. It looks very kind of like natural looking. So I'm gonna show you how I created those. It's pretty neat. And we'll kind of set this aside, let it dry some more. So Christmas of 2012, I wasn't there in 2012, Case. I'm still in Korea. All right, so we're gonna grab Old Olive, Cajun Craze, and crushed curry. Okay, I'll move this out of the way. I'll move that. So those are our colors we're gonna use. And then I've got blending brushes for each one. So I have the green, the Old Olive, the Cajun Craze, and the crushed curry. Now I'm gonna get a piece of basic white. Just got a little strip here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our blending brushes and we're gonna, in a circular motion, grab some of that ink and then make a little section with each of the different colors. Just a little circular section here. And if you get like some darker and lighter spots, don't even worry about it because we're gonna end up kind of cutting it out and putting the water on there, so it's not even a big deal if that happens. So I'm gonna close my Old Olive, move that off to the side here. Now we're gonna do Cajun Craze. Maybe it might have been when it snowed in Korea, actually. I wanna say, I can't remember if I was still pregnant or not. I wanna say I was pregnant, so that would have been 2010 maybe? 2011 was when he was born. I don't know. It was around that time. All right, so, and now crushed curry. So I'm just making these little inked up areas, and then we're gonna add little water spots to it. This is a really cool way. You can do this. It doesn't have to be leaves. It can really be anything, but this is a cool way to get like an artsy look into your project. My friend Kathy sent me a card last year. It's a beautiful Christmas card with those Christmas bulbs with the dies, and she had colored them blue and done this technique on them, and they just looked gorgeous. So you can really do this with any die cut. It would look really, really nice. Okay, so we've got our colors, crushed curry, Cajun Craze, and Old Olive. Now we're gonna take a water painter. So I have the medium size water painter. I was gonna show you, I don't think I put the pack in my bin here. Did I put them in here? No. So they come in a pack of 3. You get a fine tip, a medium tip, and a large tip. So I'm just using the medium size tip. Now, You'll see here I have like a big splot of water. You don't want that. So what I do is I like to kind of push on the water painter where it says push right here and kind of get the water going. You want to get some water, but you don't want exactly what happened here. You don't want that big wet splatter on your paper. So I like to do that off of the paper, kind of get the water going into the brush, get it nice and wet. And then we're going to take our finger and flick the water from the brush onto the paper. And you might have to squeeze while you're doing it just a little bit. Oh, see, I don't want to squeeze too much. I'm trying to get it going, but I'm glad that only did it in a second here. Here, let's see. There we go. So we're gonna get that water and kind of tap, 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 tap. Get our little finger going. That's better. Get some on the brush and then kind of flick it onto the paper. That's the easiest way to do it because we don't want those big splatters. I'm going to do that again actually, but you just want those little speckles. And when you kind of get the water onto the brush end, that's the easiest way to do it actually. And then flick it from your finger onto the paper. And what happens is you'll see, you can see it here, those light little speckles. These we don't want. I'm going to do that one over again, but you have the light little speckles on here. So don't just squeeze it right over because that's what happens. Actually, I might be able to save that a little bit. There we go. I think that'll be okay. We can salvage this. But yeah, we want that excess water there. And you just kind of flick it down onto that paper. I think we can make that work. Get some more water. Flick, 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 flick. And flick it off of your finger down towards the paper. And you can do it as much or as little as you want. Get more water. I think that's a little better. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay. So now, I'll get that off of I meant to grab a paper towel before I came back here, but I forgot. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab these dies. Let me show you what dies we're using here. So we're using this set, the Autumn Leaves stamp set. So this is still in the annual catalog, and this is the die set that goes with it, lots of dies. So we're actually using, it comes with these 2 small maple leaf dies. So we're gonna use those, as well as, I don't know what kind of leaf that is, just a regular tree leaf, but it has 2 of those as well. So I like when they have multiples of the same dies. It makes projects when you have like class and stuff a lot easier. Okay, so looking at our example here, the maple leaves are gonna go on the yellow and the crushed curry, and I'm gonna try to keep that big splotch out of the way. We'll make that work. And then the green is the little section over here. So I'm gonna grab my embossing machine. I got my mini one out. See if we can do this all in one go. And if you want to make sure they don't move anywhere, we can take some tape. I have lots of tape on here. I can make this is that Scotch tape I have on a roll. We can just keep that on there and then it won't go anywhere, but we're gonna carefully lift this up here. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this in more than one pass because they're too spread out too much. But you're gonna be amazed at what these look like when they're done. They're so pretty. Super, super pretty. Okay, now I gotta do it. So there's 2, and I'll do a reveal in just a second. We're gonna cut this 3rd one out. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Mom. Thanks for joining. My mom, Janine Nuttall. Little shout out. I was just saying, we're doing these in my stamp camp classes, and people went crazy for this card. It was a really cool technique. Okay. So here, oh, I thought I just threw my leaf away. So that's what the green leaf looks like. You can see some of the little speckles on there from the water. It just gives it more of a natural look, which is really cool. I really like that. And then you can see a little bit more of those, and it's got like lighter tones and then the darker ink and the little speckles from the water on the paper right there. And then this one's probably gonna have the most drama on it since I got more of that water on there. Yep, that's got more of the little spots and stuff on there, but it looks really cool. And it just looks more like it's from nature. You know, there's lots of leaves that have the little like imperfections on them from being out in the sun, or they're starting to dry up or something. So I thought that was pretty cool technique for this card. Okay. And now we need to stamp this. Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. Oops. So I've got a little piece here. We're going to move this off to the side. A little scrap piece. And I'm going to grab my old olive pad again. Now, if you have a hard time opening up these pads, with the pad facing you in the correct direction, with this hinge at the top, take your thumbs in the center of that hinge and push down, and that'll help kind of pop up that lid and make it easier to open. I know some of these can be really tight, so that's a little tip to make it easier to open your ink pad. We're just going to stamp that down. And the old olive. And then we're going to die cut that. And this die is also from that autumn leaves set that we're going to use here. So this, all these dies are from the autumn leaves dies that go with the stamp set. And let's see if I can find it in the catalog so that you guys know where to look for it. Let's look at that real quick. Pretty sure I'll be able to find it. Dies, autumn leaves, page 74. Oh, yeah, right there. So page 74 in your annual catalog, this is the set we're using, the dies and the stamp set. It used to be a bundle, but when it carried over into the annual catalog, they broke up the bundle, so you get the stamp set and the dies separately. Okay. All right, so let's grab our little machine out one more time. It's the last little thing we need to die cut here. Just line up our die, and I'll probably tape it just to make sure it doesn't move on me, because that has a tendency to happen here. Oops. That was going. Oh, thank you so much, Lori. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like this card. Like I said, make sure to stick around to the end because I have more examples of how to use this fun fold with different products. All right, so that's the little die, and I love it. It has the little like stitching edge. I love those dies like that. It's really cool. Okay, so now let's put this together. So in my kit, where'd it go? Here it is. So I also have this black piece here. This is 3 by 5.5, scored at 2 3/4, and then the white piece is 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. It's gonna go on the inside here. Okay, so we can fold this in half. And all these measurements will be in the PDF tutorial in my blog post tomorrow morning, so don't feel like you have to write them down right now. Okay, so for this, we're gonna grab some dimensionals. My favorite, I love dimensionals. And we're going to pop this up on the back here. Maybe I'll put I just really like dimensionals. All right. And then on the black piece here, we're going to do it towards the left-hand side, centered from top to bottom. And then on the leaves here, we're gonna put just one little dimensional towards the bottom where the stem is. That's all we need, is one dimensional for each one, right near the base, near the stem. Okay. And then my Cajun Craze one I'm gonna do first. And I am going to kind of layer this over the corner, just like that, keeping it in the edge of our, oops, moved on me. Keeping it in the edge of our black piece here, our card piece. And then I actually like to do the yellow maple leaf next and do it at the bottom corner facing in the opposite direction. Again, keeping it in that corner, in that edge as best I can. And then we're gonna tuck this one in between the green leaf. Just kind of tuck it under and kind of fill in that gap a little bit, just like that. So cute, I love it. Okay, so now on the inside, we can put some more words on here. You can do with a grateful heart or I'm thankful. I think I'll do with a grateful heart. And again, this is part of that autumn leaves stamp set. So this is not a perfect circle or perfect square, excuse me. So make sure, I like to just kind of position it and make sure I have it in the right directions before I stamp it. I don't keep it in the card, but I just kind of position it to make sure I have it going in the right direction. And then we'll move that off of the card. And we'll open our pad here and stamp it. And I always like to stamp as much as I can before adhering. In case I make a mistake, I can always flip the paper over. I'll do with a grateful heart. I just love it. I love this font. Fonts always appeal to me when I look at stamps. If I love the font, I'm almost always gonna buy the stamp set. All right, now we're gonna grab our, I like to use Stampin' Seal Plus. It's got a nice strong hold. So I usually use this when I make a card. And we'll stick this on the inside here, just a small border all the way around. Okay, now to put this on our card base, the important thing, he calls them hexagons, the dimensionals. I mean, they are in a hexagon shape. So when we put this on, we are gonna only put 3 dimensionals on the back of this top piece right here. And the reason for that is, if you notice with this card, you need a little bit of an opening so that you can tuck that under your card here. So we only wanna put 3 dimensionals right behind that top right corner right here. So I'm just gonna flip this towards me. And right at the top, I'm gonna do 3 dimensionals right at the top there, close to the edge. So just right here. And I'll show you again in a second before I put it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, they're gonna be covered up. But so if we look at the card and you flip it towards you, you want those 3 dimensionals right at the edge right there, okay? That's all you need, is those 3. Right at that top edge. And now we're just going to line this edge up with the edge of the card and center it from top to bottom, just like that. And now we can fold this card up and it tucks right behind that little card, and then you have a little space for your message. Isn't that so cute? Ah, but we have to put bling on. We can't finish it until there's some bling. So I've got some gems. These are the Earth Tones Shimmer Gems from the mini catalog we're gonna use. And I'm gonna grab my Take Your Pick tool. And let's see, I got some green ones here. I put a larger green one and a smaller green one down here. And at the top, I'm gonna use the brown ones. I'm gonna do a large one. Oops. Putty's coming off. Okay, do this brown one here. Come on, don't wanna stick. There we go. I'll put a large one in that little corner and then a small one right above it. And that is our card. Super cute. What do you guys think? Do you like this? Do you like the techniques you used? Definitely let me know in the comments. Give me a little thumbs up or heart if you like this. So let me show you the other examples. I'm gonna clean up this area a little bit and then I'll show you some more examples of how to use some other products with this card. Okay, so, where did I put it? Oh. So this is also with the Splendid Autumn. It just has a different paper background, the different Splendid Autumn piece right there. And I didn't put gems on this one, but that's another example. I just love this paper. You could do almost the whole pack probably and just have a bunch of these cards ready to go. This one I did with the Charming Duck Pond paper and bundle. It has the Hello Friend, and then we did Have a Lovely Day on the inside. That's also a 6x6, and then I just took another piece of paper from the pack that coordinated, and I put that on the side there. So that's another example. And I love that little background. This paper is so pretty and so cute with the little ducks. And then my last example is using the ever popular reindeer. I just love that little scene. So I cut the paper from the scene and then I stamped the little snowflakes from the stamp set, and then the Christmas is Better Together. I think this is a 2-inch circle punch and the other one's the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And then I did the Merry Christmas on the inside, but I just love it. And that's the Reindeer Days, I think, paper. I just think that is so cute. I love the little reindeer. So let me know which one's your favorite. What is your favorite technique that you learned? Do you love this layout? Let me know. I want to hear from you guys. Which embossing folder did I use in the original? Oh, I used the exposed brick embossing folder. I used the exposed brick and the embossing for the original card with the black here. Good question. All right, but yeah, guys, let me know what you think. What's your favorite? Do you like the techniques I shared? And then give me a thumbs up or a heart. And don't forget to share my video, okay? Let me get my face back on here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you learned a lot and you enjoyed this project. Don't forget to join me again next week for another fun project. Okay, guys? Have a great week. Be safe and enjoy the cooler weather. I think it's getting cooler in a lot of places. So, oh, I'm so glad you liked it, Janice. Thank you. And if you're watching the replay, don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know what you think as well, okay? All right, guys. Well, have a great week. And until next time, be safe and happy stamping. Bye-bye.